School in Winnetka for today's IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving State Championship meet. A packed house here in New Trier, and glad you can be with us today on Fox Sports Chicago. Along with Bruce Woodbury, the girls coach here in New Trier, I'm Dave Pash. And Bruce, Naperville Central was the team to beat. They were the #1 squad all year long in high school swimming and diving. However, they failed to qualify in 2 of their 3 relay teams, which means the door's wide open for several clubs, including Marmion, as well as Oak Park River Forest, the team that won it last year, and also St. Charles, which won it in 1997.
Marmion had a great meet last night, getting all the relays to score points, and St. Charles had an excellent meet last year. I wouldn't count Naperville Central out of the meet yet, though.
Andrew Schnell is one of the many guys we'll be keeping an eye on. He swims for Marmion. And also, Naperville Central's Aaron McCracken is a terrific swimmer as well.
Yeah, Andrew Schnell had an awesome meet last night. He's the leading qualifier in the 200 freestyle and in the 100 freestyle, along with Aaron McCracken, who led all qualifiers in the IM and in the breaststroke. He's also the defending champion.
2 of the many individuals we'll be showcasing today on Fox Sports Chicago's coverage of the IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving State Championship meet. We get underway next. Back at New Trier High School, Dave Pash along with Bruce Woodbury, and event #1 about to take place, the finals of the 200 medley relay. St. Charles had the best time in this event on Friday night, the prelims, with Naperville Central, as you see in lane number 5, coming in second.
This event has huge ramifications for the team trophy. St. Charles in lane 4 and Naperville Central in lane 5.
Yeah, those are the 2 lanes to watch. They'll go backstroke for the first 50 yards, then that'll be followed by breast, the fly, and then freestyle for the final leg.
St. Charles has a freshman leading off, Jim Brennan.
And Oak Park Fenwick right now has the early lead in lane 3.
Naperville Central and St. Charles will be swimming from behind a little bit here.
Yeah, right now Oak Park and Champaign Central setting the pace in lanes 3 and 2 respectively as we close in on halfway through the opening event.
Well, you can see that Naperville Central's picked it up, and guess who's swimming? Aaron McCracken, leading qualifier in the breaststroker.
Now it's time for the butterfly. And all of a sudden in lane 5, Naperville Central has the lead, close behind St. Charles in lane 4.
Breaststroker with the difference there. Look at St. Charles come on now. Steve North, the leading qualifier in the butterfly. Back and forth, back and forth. How exciting is this?
And here's the final leg, the freestyle. The last 50 yards to determine the state champ in the 200-yard medley relay.
And Fenwick's in the lead. Fenwick's in the lead coming off the wall.
St. Charles and Naperville down the stretch. And who will it be?
Fenwick.
It's lane 4, St. Charles.
St. Charles.
St. Charles, which finished tops in this event on Friday night in the prelims, duplicates the feat today to take event #1. And those are big. Those are 32 points. The relays are huge, and St. Charles, which won this event 2 years ago, gets off to a great start here in the 99 event.
Well, the last 2 swimmers were key for them. Their butterflyer, the leading qualifier in the butterfly in the individual event, Steve North and Andrew Heim. Look at the finish here. You can see that St. Charles is ahead, has a great turn. Look at the kick off the wall. Nice strong kick, which is key. They're off the wall through that wave, and watch the finish. A whole body length, 3/4 of a body length finish. Never a doubt, really, at all.
Bit of a slow start for both St. Charles and Naperville in that event, but they picked it up towards the end, and Aaron McCracken a big reason why. However, his Naperville Central Redhawks cannot knock off the St. Charles Saints, who take event #1, the 200-yard medley relay. When we come back, the 200-yard freestyle here at the IHSA State Boys Swimming and Diving Championships. Back at New Trier High School, as they are dishing out now the awards for the 200 medley relay, and Joe Plack will be the one handing them out. As you see, it's St. Charles, the winner, with Naperville Central a very close second.
Joe Black, who's giving out the awards, is the starter for the meet, has been for the last couple years, and does an excellent job of starting.
Oak Park, that's Oak Park Fenwick that came in third there. Lake Forest in fourth, followed by Champaign Central, and then Fenwick in sixth. My mistake, Oak Park River Forest is third and Fenwick is sixth.
Here's the finish of the race. You can see how St. Charles just dominates the race here at the end, and not even close, and that's kind of unusual for this relay. And look at his reaction.
Surprised, Bruce, that St. Charles got up to such a slow start, then still captured the event.
Yeah, they started off with a freshman and ended up with a senior, and the seniors have dominated this meet the last couple of years. That they're the ones that are trained and harder and really a lot stronger and quicker. It takes for boys, it takes them a little bit longer to develop that strength and quickness. Girls seem to are a lot more mature when they're swimming and have a lot of early success.
There is Joe Black handing out the award. St. Charles gets 32 points for the first place finish. The second place finisher in the relays gets 26 points, with the third place finisher 24. So those three teams we talked about possibly having a chance to win this thing today, St. Charles, along with Oak Park River Forest and Naperville Central, all in the hunt early on.
The interesting thing is, and this points it out, this event points it out, is New Trier, who was seventh in the last end, had the second fastest time in the state, or third fastest time in the state. They can't move up. They locked themselves in last night with their swim, and they can't move up into the top six.
St. Charles' preliminary time was 136.04 on Friday night, and their time today just a tad better, 135.43. So they bettered their effort from Friday night.
They had an awesome swim. And here they are. There's a good shot of Joe Plack, our starter for the day and award presenter for this event.
Member of the Swimming and Diving Advisory Committee as well. And our broadcast site is right next to St. Charles High School, so you'll be hearing them throughout today's event. So a great way to start for St. Charles, winning the opening event, the 200-yard medley relay. They are the state champs in 1999. And just about everybody on that particular race better their time from the prelims, including Naperville Central, which came in second, and also Oak Park River Forest, which came in third. What do you attribute that to? Do you attribute it to adrenaline, the fact that today is the finals, where Friday night were the prelims?
Not really. The prelims are so important. Most coaches say state meets are won in the preliminaries, but the adrenaline really does kick in the finals, and that's when the points are scored. But state meets are won in the preliminaries. You can't. New Trier is a perfect example of that. They couldn't move up. You have to qualify early.
So St. Charles wins the opening event, and up next on the docket here at the IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving Championships, the 200-yard freestyle. And of course, they got to keep an eye on Bruce in the 200-yard freestyle is Andrew Schnell, who on Friday was 2 seconds better than anybody else in his heat.
Yeah, Andrew's an awesome swimmer. He's just a junior, and he's a huge young man, as we saw earlier on the deck, and just a great swimmer. Great technique, very strong, very well coached, and trains really hard.
Here are the consolation heat. Lanes 2 through 7 being used today. 1 and 8 are not being used. And Nicholas Burgess is the guy to watch in lane 2 for Marmion. These are the gentlemen who placed 7 through 12 in the prelims on Friday night.
This race is 8 lengths of the pool. The pool is 25 yards long. It's used to be a distance event in the good old days, I guess, and now it's a sprint. You see them take off right away. Strong, hard swimming right from the get-go.
Pretty close early on. Nicholas Burgess, as we mentioned, in lane 2, and David Plandowski from Lake Forest High School in lane 3, the front runners. Also, lane 6, Joe Obringer, the sophomore from Wilmette.
Yeah, from Loyola Academy. This is a critical event for Marmion. They lost some points in the medley relay in the consolation finals. They can pick up a few points here with Nicholas Burgess in the 200 lane 2.
Right now it's Plandowski though in lane 3 with the lead as he makes the turn.
See some of the Nicholas was out hard, and he looks like he was holding his breath a little bit there. Now he is breathing every stroke, and he's making some gain. He's gaining a little bit. He has good turns. He comes hard off the wall. Got to keep an eye out in lane 4 there. Trevor Ford from Pekin is starting to pull away a little bit.
And Ford has a good second and a half lead, and a great turn for Ford, and he's got the lead into the final 50 yards. Trevor Ford, you see him in the middle of your screen in lane 4. He's got a great advantage here as he darts for the home stretch.
The arms start to get a little heavy now. This is where the mental toughness comes in, and you can see that Nicholas Burgess is pulling away or coming up a little bit, but the other half of the pool did finish ahead of him there. Nicholas got 3rd. He was placed to get 5th in this heat. So he helped his team a little bit by moving up a little bit there.
Trevor Ford from Pekin in lane 4 wins the consolation final. And he really pulled away the last 100 yards or so.
Nice haircut, Trevor.
It's a little bit like yours. I thought about shaving my head just for this event to fit in, Bruce, but my wife thought better of it.
It's amazing when the girls do it. Okay, you can here we can see the finish and the turn that you described so well, coming off the wall. He comes off really hard there and gets the kick going right away. That's a real key. And here's the finish. When the lane lines start to change and go all to green, you can tell we're about 5 yards away, and there they are, and nobody's even close. He keeps the stroke long, and notice how he kept his head down, finished hard with his holding his breath.
Here is the championship heat. Lanes 2 through 7, and look at number 4. There he is, Andrew Schnell from Marmion. Watch him because he is an outstanding swimmer. All 6'7" of them. The 200-yard freestyle finals. And the first 25 yards complete. And Schnell is in lane 4. Keep an eye on him.
Andrew Wells from O'Fallon is out first, but I suspect that'll change. But he's going after the race. He's the one in the bathing cap in lane 2.
Is this the type of event where maybe you pace yourself the first couple of lengths, or you go full bore the entire time?
Yeah, you try to go full bore the whole time. You can't pace yourself in this. These swimmers are too good for that.
Well, Andrew Wells so far a surprise. He is neck and neck in lane 2 with Marmion Academy's Andrew Schnell in lane 4, and the junior Schnell that makes the turn with the lead.
But you can see what a powerful swimmer that Andrew is. And if you can, we'll take a look at his turn here. He comes off the wall, streamlined, hands together, pushes off the wall, get that kick going. Look at that. It's terrific.
Schnell at 141.14 on Friday, looking to better that and win the finals today in the 200-yard freestyle, and he has the lead.
Yeah, that 50 was 25.6, and if he brings it back that fast, he goes another 141.
Well, if you're 6'7", I'm sure it helps when it comes to the home stretch and trying to get your hand in there first, but I don't know if that's even going to be an issue for him in this race.
I don't think so.
Andrew Schnell in lane 4.
141.19
is your championship. So at 141.19, better last night in the prelims at 141.14, but he'll take the championship no matter what the time.
Yeah, he didn't disappoint. He did an excellent job with that swim. Really strong, quality swimmer.
And he's not done. We'll see him later in the 200-yard freestyle and also the 100-yard free.
Yeah, he just won the 200-yard freestyle.
The relay.
Gotcha. Okay, here's the turn. Feet together again. Comes up breathing right away. Looks like he was sucking for a little air there, but look at this finish now. He actually looks a little low in the water, but it really didn't matter. He's such a powerful swimmer.
Here, take a look at it.
Here's a different angle, but you can see that his head is pretty far down there, and coaches try to get the head up in those sprint races like this.
So Andrew Schnell, your winner in the 200-yard freestyle. We'll have the award ceremony when we come back on Fox Sports Chicago. Dave Passion, Bruce Woodbury, the girls' head coach here at New Trier High School, on hand for the IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving Championships. And Robert Loy, the boys and girls coach from Bloomington High School, is right now handing out the awards for the 200-yard freestyle won by Andrew Schnell from Marmion Academy. Schnell's time 1:41.19, so he gets 16 points for Marmion. Tommy Lockman getting his award right now for second place at 1:42.32, and Champaign Central will get 13 points for the second place finish from Lockman.
And here comes Andrew Schnell getting his award from Marmion. 1:41.19.
Tim Berry from Oak Park River Forest won the event last year. Oak Park River Forest took the 200 medley relay and then proceeded to win the 200 free and ended up taking home the state championship. This is big for Marmion. They needed to get these 16 points from Schnell, and he delivered. You can see he's a little beat.
Yeah, he is tired, but he's happy, but he knows he's got 3 more swims to do. He's got the 200 free relay, he's got the 100-yard freestyle, and the 400 free relay as well.
Event number 3 is the 200-yard individual medley, and this is the consolation finals. There are your lane assignments. Lane 2, Jonathan Eck and Lake Forest. These are brought to you by Country Companies Insurance.
Lake Forest has 2 swimmers here. They were hoping one of them would have gotten into the finals, championship finals. This is 50 yards of butterfly, 50 yards of backstroke, 50 yards of breaststroke, and 50 yards of freestyle. The lead frequently changes based on the swimmer's best stroke. You can't have a real weak stroke in any of them, but some are stronger than others. Obviously, that lane 6 there, the butterflyer from HINSDALE South is a butterflyer.
Eric Trovater from Darien High School in lane 6 is right now trailing Anthony Arbogast in lane 3 from Addison. And now in lane 4, Marc Hamming has the lead from Lake Forest High School. 1 of 2, as Bruce mentioned, in this particular event.
Marc, I think, is a good breaststroker here, or he better be, or he's going to lose the lead, because here comes James Wilkie from Sterling High School up by the big Mississippi.
Yeah, Wilkie's got the lead, but as you said, Bruce, the lead has changed hands now, what, 4 or 5 times already, and we're not even to the freestyle yet.
Marc Hamming is a good freestyler as well. His turnover in the breaststroke looks a little slow, but it's good enough to maintain the lead.
And now the final 50 yards in the freestyle.
Look at the freestyle.
Wow. Out to the quick lead is Marc Hamming from Lake Forest. I take it this is his specialty.
Yeah, you have to have a strong freestyle to finish. Plus, not some guts too at this point. The pain is really heavy now, and it hurts a lot.
Creeping up on Hamming is Wilkie, but Hamming will win the event for Lake Forest in the consolation finals. Marc Hamming, the junior, who had the best time in the consolation finals of the prelim on Friday night, has the best time in the consolation finals on Saturday.
Yeah, he had a nice job. He's a little off what he swam last night. Good enough to win the consolation finals. He could have set a state record and still got no higher than 7th, though.
Let's take a look now at the closing stretches here, the turn for Marc Hamming, and he really turned it on once he got to the freestyle.
Good freestyle turn, but you see it in contrast to what we saw with Andy Schnell. His head is a little bit higher and has a good leg kick. Strong enough to win. Kind of taking a breath there as he's finishing. Like to do that for the cameras so the cameras can get him get a good shot of him as the finish. Nice finish.
Here are the lane assignments. Country Companies Insurance for the championship heat for the 200-yard individual medley.
Aaron McCracken, lane 4. This is a race I've been looking forward to for Naperville Central. He's a great breaststroker. He was way behind last night in the prelims, and the breaststroke just changed the whole race around for him.
1:53.44 was his time on Friday night. He finished 5th in this event last year.
He was a full second and a half faster in the breaststroke leg last night going against the people he was swimming.
And he's just a junior.
His butterfly is good. Obviously not his strongest stroke. His backstroke is better than his butterfly compared to the field. He has a nice turnover in the backstroke. Has a nice strong leg kick. You can see he's starting to pull away.
And watch out here at the bottom of your screen for Tom Martinson, who won the 100-yard backstroke on Friday night from Oak Park River Forest, and this is his specialty. And now they go to the breaststroke.
Yeah, now watch the breaststroke. Just look at the there he is. Look at the turnover on the breaststroke. Great position, and we're having a really good race here.
McCracken, being chased by Dan Trupin, has been with him pretty much the whole way. Trupin overtakes him. He's got the lead. The final turn now, and the freestyle.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a great race. Trupin from Champaign Central could surprise McCracken a little bit here.
Here we come, the final 25 yards. It's Trupin in lane 5, the bottom of your screen. The top of your screen, lane 4, Aaron McCracken, and Trupin pulling away.
Yeah, look at this. This is what a great swim by Trupin.
An upset.
Nice job. Yeah, it is an upset. It's the first upset of the day, and just a great swim.
Just a sophomore, Dan Trupin from Champaign Central, who was bettered in the preliminary finals only by Aaron McCracken, but not today.
You can see here's the finish. McCracken's on the left there. Trupin has already got a little bit of a body length ahead. It looks like Andrew was a little slow getting over with his legs. I'm sure he wishes he could have gotten those over a little bit faster, but then just pulling away for the finish. Nice job by Dan.
It really was that freestyle. He started it going on the breaststroke. It looked for a while there that Tom Martinson on the backstroke may take it, but as soon as they went to the breaststroke, it was between Trupin and McCracken, and then Trupin pulled away in the final 50 yards in the freestyle. When we come back, we'll have the award ceremony for the 200-yard individual medley and then the 50-yard freestyle, also coming up on Fox Sports Chicago. As you take a look at the Illinois State champions, Walt, Dave Pash, and Bruce Woodbury back inside New Trier High School in Winnetka for today's IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving State Championships. And right now, Champaign Central in the lead after 2 races with 33 points. St. Charles close behind with 32. Marmion after Dan Schnell's victory in the 200-yard freestyle finishing third, and then in fourth, it's Naperville Central with the disappointing finish from Aaron McCracken in the 200-yard individual medley. Dan Trupin, the champ. There you see the time.
Here's the finish again on the freestyle leg there. A strong finish, long strokes. His arms are longer than my whole body. Nice finish, nice race. He'll be back next year too. He's a sophomore.
So Naperville Central, which was the top-ranked team in the state pretty much throughout the year, hasn't happened for them at state. 2 of their 3 teams failed to qualify for the relays, and then Aaron McCracken beaten by Dan Trupin in the finals of the 200-yard individual medley. And Champaign Central, thanks to Trupin's victory, has the lead after 3 races.
Here's McCracken now coming up to receive his award.
It's got to be very tough for him. I'm sure that he'd rather have that first place award, but we'll see him later also.
Yeah, I'm sure he's focused in on that breaststroke. He's the defending champion in the breaststroke. And while disappointed, obviously nobody likes to get second place. He had a nice race, had a nice swim, and he has a chance to redeem himself again later this afternoon.
And there he is, the champ in the 200-yard individual medley, just a sophomore, Dan Trupin from Champaign Central. Man, the older I get, the younger these guys look. It is a jam-packed house here today at New Trier, and glad that you could be along also on Fox Sports Chicago. Lane assignments for the 50-yard freestyle, a pure speed event brought to you by Country Companies Insurance, and this is the consolation finals for those who finished in the 7 through 12 slots in the prelims on Friday night.
Lane 2 is at the top of the screen, and lane 7 obviously is at the bottom of the screen. As you said, this is a purely sprint event. This is a start, which is so critical, a turn, which is so critical, and then the finish.
That's pretty much it, isn't it? Up from the dive and then the turn?
Yep. Other kids don't take a breath the whole race. Some turn their head and don't have time to get a breath. They're just so used to turning their head when they swim in practice. But look at this. Look at how fast they move their arms. It looks like they have no technique at all at first glance, but if you slow it down, they have fabulous technique. Sprinters are a different breed. They just all out all the time. They're great athletes.
Here comes the stretch, and it's a very close finish. Tom Martinson in lane 7 appeared to touch just as Jeff Gullett from Byron touched, and we'll see who they give it to. It looks like Tom Martinson from Oak Park, Fenwick, who is the champ, or had the best time of the prelims of the 100-yard back, is going to take this event.
It's amazing. It is amazing how fast. Thank goodness for electronic timing. We'd be sitting here all day trying to figuring this out.
21.62 the time, and here you see at the bottom of your screen, Martinson just reaching at the very end to win the race.
It was pretty clear there, but you can see there all the body positions are up high. It's real critical that the kids have their heads up high. They're almost playing like a sailboat as they're going through the water. These are intense individuals. Obviously, the coaches are intense. The parents are going nuts in the balcony. It's a great time. Justin Mathias was our fastest qualifier.
Country Companies Insurance with the lane assignments here for the championship heat.
Oh, boy, I bet Joe Black, the starter, is happy that race is over because the start is so critical.
All swimmers even here. Tyler Bellinger and Justin Mathias.
Looks like McCracken a little bit out in front, but it's hard to tell. There he is. What a finish. What a finish. In
lane 2. And Anders Holm just beaten by a 1/10 of a second by Mathias in lane 4 from Mundelein High School.
Yeah, I misspoke. It was Mathias who finished first.
And he had the best time of the prelims at 21:09. Today, it's 21:05 for Mathias from Mundelein, the senior, in lane 4 as he takes home the 50-yard freestyle championship. Happy fella, and here's the turn.
Here's Justin. It's hard to tell who's ahead from this angle, but he had a fabulous start and a great turn. And you can see that he's starting to pull away. He just finishes. Luck's a little comes into play here. His arms were in the right position as he stretched for the wall and stretched out to get that first place just by a 1/10 of a second.
Anders Holm coming in second. And then at 21.18, Jim Siniowski from Midlothian. Then a couple of 21.43s. But it's Justin Mathias who takes the 4th event at the IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving State Championships, the 50-yard freestyle. Diving is up next on Fox Sports Chicago. 4 events complete at the IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving State Championships at New Trier High School in Winnetka. Dave Pash alongside Bruce Woodbury, the girls coach here at New Trier, and the 50-yard freestyle goes to Justin Mathias of Mundelein by just a 1/10 of a second over Henry Tabinski from Oak Park.
Interesting thing about Henry Tabinski, he qualified 7th last night as actually a tie for 6th. He had a swim off last night just to get into this final heat. He ends up 2nd.
Jim Siniowski is 3rd, Tyler Belanger is 4th, Chris Camp 5th, and Anders Holm is 6th. And there you see the winner. Justin Mathias, the champ in the 50-yard freestyle, shaking hands. He's a happy guy. And
he is one happy guy.
Why not?
It's a lot of work to swim 50 yards, a lot of work to be a state champion, 21 seconds of swimming.
A lot of hard work goes into what comes down to just 2 lengths of the pool.
And here you can see his finish here. He has a perfect finish though, stretching. His arms are in the right place at the right time. All he had to do is stretch out the finish.
A big victory for Justin Mathias, who had the top time in the prelim and takes home the 50-yard freestyle for Mundelein in the championships. And there are your team standings after 4 events. Naperville Central, despite not having 2 of its 3 relay teams on hand today in the championship heat, tied for the lead with Champaign Central. Oak Park is in 3rd currently with St. Charles 4th, and Lake Forest followed in 5th place.
Lake Forest has 2 divers in the finals, and St. Charles has a diver in the finals, so that's going to change considerably in the next event. Speaking
of diving, as Bruce alluded to, it's up next as we watch Justin Mathias take home the roses as he wins the 50-yard freestyle. The frenzy of Illinois High School March Madness continues this weekend on Fox Sports Chicago with live coverage of the girls Class AA State Basketball Tournament. Coverage starts Saturday at 11 a.m. with the semifinals and concludes with the championship finals Saturday night at 8 o'clock. The championship game will be on Fox Sports Chicago Plus. Call your local cable company for the Fox Sports Plus channel number in your area. With Bruce Woodbury, Dave Pash back for the state championships, boys in swimming and diving, IHSA here at New Trier High School in Winnetka. And Jake Dorsey will be the first diver. He was tops in the prelims on Friday night.
He's got some.
Dive orders brought to you by Country Companies Insurance, and Jake Dorsey will be first, followed by Pat Collins, both of Champaign Central.
It's a reverse 1/2 somersault in the pipe position. You can see he held his position real well.
Very nice dive for Jake Dorsey.
Very difficult dive, 2.5. And the scoreboard tells the story of all the awards. Pike position, leg straight, bend only at the waist. He looks for the water. Toes not pointed necessarily, but did a nice job.
Travis Collins with a beautiful forward dive.
Yeah, difficulty's only 1.3, so chances are he's going to do a little better dive because it wasn't as difficult, and even scores 7s and 6s. He has 1 8 in there too. Pike position, forward dive, straight leg, straight body, nailed it.
What they do is the 2 highest scores and the 2 lowest scores are thrown out, and then they're multiplied by the degree of difficulty. Ivan with a reverse dive, straight position, degree of difficulty 1.8. That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. I just didn't think it was as good as we did, but that's why they're judging. We're sitting up here.
4 6s and 2 5s for Ivan.
And then reverse. A little bit of a twist there at the end.
Here's Seth Bradley from Peoria. Richwoods High School.
2 somersaults.
Degree of difficulty on that one, 2-2.
Almost went around for that 3rd one. Looked like he kind of surprised himself.
4 6s and 3 5s for Seth Bradley.
You can see him step out of it there, and he has to have his hands at his side, otherwise he only can get 2 points, the maximum. So he got those hands down just in the nick of time.
David Likar will do a back dive from the straight position. Degree of difficulty here, 1-7.
This is one of the required dives that he has to do. Low degree of difficulty. Chosen to do it early. And he's probably a little more nervous than he might be. Over a little bit. Scores reflect that a little bit in 5s and 6s.
Yeah, watch where his feet land compared to his upper body. Probably the reason why for the lower scores.
This is Steve Hastings from Naperville North.
17-year-old senior will do a forward dive with a half twist from the straight position. This will be a 1-8 as far as degree of difficulty.
Steve Hastings, 5111, forward dive, half twist, straight position, 1.8.
Straight position. It twisted a little bit trying to the end. Looked like a little corkscrew towards the end there.
And the judges agree with you there. 5 5s and 2 4s, so not the best numbers for Steve.
Actually, you can see the twist a little bit from this angle, too.
Craig Helland up next from Libertyville High School, and he, too, is a senior. This will be a back dive, degree of difficulty 1.6.
You can see Pike, had a nice Pike there. That would look real good from my angle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that was an excellent dive, and the judges agree. 3 8s and 4 7s.
Look at this. Nice body position. Legs are just straighter as an arrow, and just nailed it. Takes it straight down to the dive, to the bottom. Didn't have to save it at all.
Those are the judges for these particular divers, and here's Mike Magee. Forward with a 1.5 somersault out of the Pike.
Mike's from Hinsdale South. 1.7 degree of difficulty.
We are in round 1. Each diver will have 3 tries at it. Victor Paglia will be up next from Lake Forest, but first check out Mike's dive.
Victor's one of the few sophomores on this event. He chose to start off with a very difficult reverse dive, a 1.5 somersault, and 1.5 twist in the free position.
2.6 degree of difficulty, and that's as tough of a dive as we've seen yet.
Now, look at this. He in control. Nice scores there. He's still got an 8. Actually, a wide range of scores. He had an 8 on the top side
in there, too.
And a 5 on the low side.
You hear the St. Charles fans directly to our right here at our broadcast site, reading on Tony Marinaccio.
He's doing a forward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position.
Pretty solid dive from Tony Marinaccio.
Yeah, it was a solid dive. Didn't look like he held his tuck very long, but maybe that's the way he's been coached to do it. These guys are so strong and so powerful that if he'd held it much longer, he probably would have been over. Tuck.
5.5s and 6s, though.
Kicks right out of there. Good finish.
Now here's Sean Kiely from Lake Forest. Forward dive with a half twist from the straight position.
1.8 is the degree of difficulty on that. That's one of the required dives that they have to do in this round. And he's got 6s and a couple 5.5s on that.
Did get a 7 in there also.
And the little twist at the end takes it to the bottom. A little bit of a save underwater so he can keep his feet together and straight.
Marc Zabriskie, the final diver here in round 1. Junior from Niles North.
Doing a back dive in the pike position. Not exceptional, but real solid dive.
Yeah, 5s, 5.5s, and a 6 in there also.
I'm looking forward to Marc's dives at the end of this competition. There it is. It's just a solid dive.
Marc's happy with it.
Marc is happy with it. That concludes our 9th round. We have 2 more rounds to go.
Back to Jake Dorsey. He'll do a forward dive from the pike position. Degree of difficulty 1-3.
Nice.
Yeah, very near perfect. We'll see what the judges say.
Sevens and 8s.
8.5 also.
Nice job, Dave. You make you a diving judge. It was near perfect.
Fortunately, I can't even do a somersault on the ground. These guys are doing it in the air.
I think I've only seen 110 in my years of coaching.
Here's Pat Collins with back 1.5 somersault, 2.4 degree of difficulty.
Pat's currently in 3rd place.
Wow.
Nice. Backward 1.5 somersault. 2.4 is the degree of difficulty. He made it look easy.
And Champaign Centennial has 2 representatives in Jake Dorsey and this man here, Pat Collins. Ivan Zavaleta with his second dive. That was a back 1.5 somersault, the highest degree of difficulty thus far at 2.6.
And you let it get away from him a little bit towards the end of the dive, and you can see his feet come over. Good position up to there, and then you can see that they kind of slide over just slightly. But in a dive like that, it's critical.
Here's Seth Bradley, currently in 11th place after round 1. His 10th dive overall and 2nd of the finals.
Now, as amateur judges, we kind of look at the entry and what the kids do in the air, but the coaches look at, and the diving judges look at the board work too. They see the poise on the board, how powerful they are leaving the board, and their approach to the dive as well. They look at the total dive from the time they start walking towards the end of the board till the end of the water.
Dave Likar with his second dive in the finals, and that was a reverse 1.5 somersault with a 2.5 degree of difficulty, and his fan club appreciates the work.
There are judges, Bill George on the left there, and Jim Blickenstaff, longtime diving coach from Evanston High School. Over a little bit. It always scares me. I think they're going to hit the board, but they know what they're doing.
Here's Steve Hastings from Naperville North. Back one somersault with a 1.5 twist, a 2.3 degree of difficulty. However, the judges didn't like it. 2s and 3s for Steve.
Looked like he started twisting right off the board. In a free position. Yeah. And then we could see that he didn't get all the way around and vertical again.
Here's Greg Helen from Libertyville High School. He's 5th currently.
There's an example. I think he kind of ran off the board. It looked like he ran off the board, and he was almost a little anxious.
4s and 3s for Greg Helen on his 10th dive and 2nd of the finals.
I think he got out there a little far, almost lost control of it.
Wasn't fully straight when he entered the water. Mike Magee, his 2nd dive of the finals, a forward 1.5 somersault with 2 twists, 2.6. That's a tough dive. I don't know how you end up going in straight.
Yeah, they're so strong and so powerful that these are amazing athletes that I don't think unless you try to do what they're doing that you appreciate it. But you can see that he's twisting. He's really trying to bring that twist around. Came out of a little bit early, and then was able to straighten it out as he went in the water.
Here's your leader, Victor Mejia. Inward dive from the pike position, pretty simple, but pretty solid from Victor from Lake Forest.
Yeah, it was a solid dive, and I think it was the leader because he had a real high degree of difficulty on the last dive. Now he had to come down and do his required dive here, doing the inward dive. Nice, solid.
Tony Marinaccio, St. Charles High School. His 2nd dive of the finals in 10th. Oh, excellent dive.
Nice job. It was good. The crowd liked it, especially the crowd that's sitting by us.
That was a reverse 1.5 somersault with a 1.5 twist, if that makes any sense. He made it look like it made a lot of sense. Tony did.
Nice job on that.
Here's Sean Kiely from Lake Forest. Back 1.5 somersault from the tuck position, a 2.2 degree of difficulty.
Sean's from Lake Forest. 4th current. He has a nice dive in the back 1.5 somersault dive that he stayed in good control of.
Only 4s and 5s though there.
Yeah, only 4s and 5s. From this angle, it looked better than that.
So Marc Zabriskie will close things up. But first, one more look at Sean Kiely's back 1.5 somersault.
And now I see it. He kicked a little early and had to save it underwater.
Here's Niles North's Zabriskie, the junior. His 2nd dive of the finals. That was a 2.4 degree of difficulty from the pike position. And you got 5s and 4s from the judges. As we complete the 10th round, and one more round to go as you look at Zabriskie's final dive of round 9.
It was a pretty solid dive there.
Round 10, beg your pardon, as Jake Dorsey gets set for his final dive.
We're going to see some amazing dives here. Here's one that he's 2nd after 10 rounds. This is the highest total you possibly can do for degree of difficulty, 3.0.
Wow. That is a reverse 1.5 somersault with 2.5 twists.
Wow.
Now that's not an 8 or a 9. I don't know what is.
Well, I don't know if it's 8 or 9, but it's a solid dive. Watch this dive again. Hit 7s, a couple 8s in there, but look at what he does in the air here. 1.5 twists, 1.5 twists.
What's
That's
the difference
amazing.
between that and a 10? Or even a 9?
You know, I don't know. I don't know what it takes to be perfect in diving. As I say, I've only seen one in all my years of coaching.
Pat Collins currently in 3rd place, right behind his teammate Dorsey. Here's another 3.0 dive.
Look at that. That wasn't quite as good as Jake's, but it was a solid dive. That's a 3.0 dive too. Those are the only 2 divers that have this dive.
A reverse 1.5 somersault with 2.5 twists. Check it out again.
Yeah, check this out. You can tell the difference in the 2. Not quite as much control, but enough to be a real solid dive and keep it in the competition.
Ivan Zavaleta from Hinsdale Central, 2.6 here for his final dive.
Ivan's 8th here, and I think he's going to stay about 8th or maybe move down a spot here.
2s and 3s for Ivan.
Watch coming off the board here. Its twist is not as solid and had trouble getting around. It's a difficult dive. Takes a lot of muscle control.
Senior Seth Bradley with his final dive. Richwoods High School in Peoria. Pretty good dive. Back 1.5 somersault from the tuck at 2.2 as far as degree of difficulty. And some 5.5, 6.5, and 6s.
Yeah, it was a nice solid dive, and he seems happy about it. But a little break in his position there. Look close to the board.
Final dive for Dave Likar. Come on, somebody smile.
Not many kids have chosen to use that board over there. They all have a little bit different feel. David's chosen to use that one. Starts moving, doing his twisting, and before he gets off the board, judges might have taken off a little bit for that.
Still waiting for Dave's score to be posted. And 5s and 6, 1-6, mostly 4s and 5s.
Actually, both 4s are canceled out, and the 6 and one of the 5s is canceled out, so 5s.
Steve Hastings with his final dive from Naperville North. Reverse 1.5 somersault from the twist, 2.3 degree of difficulty.
Legs apart there, kind of running off on the takeoff. A lot of kids save their weakest dive for here, hoping that they even get here. We started off with 50-some-odd divers yesterday, and we're down to the final 12.
Here's one last look at Steve Hastings' final dive of the diving event.
You can see his legs were apart there, and enough strength to get them back together.
Helen, a senior from Libertyville High School.
That was a good dive. That was a good dive.
2.5 degree of difficulty. Back 1.5 somersault with a 1.5 twist. And 4s and 5s, 5.5s for Greg on his final dive.
Very athletic dive. Good technique there. And then need to save it a little bit. Not quite over far enough. Needed another foot or two.
Let's go, Marc.
Put it in.
Mike Magee toes the board for his final dive. That was a back 1.5 somersault from the pike position, a 2.4 degree of difficulty. Mike was in 10th place entering that dive and got 4s and 5s from the judges.
So he could stay there, maybe move up slightly. And if you see his feet were apart as he just entered the water. It's a great angle that we've got there.
3.0.
Here is the leader, Victor Paglia from Lake Forest High School. Reverse 2.5 somersault from the tuck. This is pretty good until maybe the very end there, but still, that might be enough.
Another 3.0 dive. Each one we've seen this afternoon has been a little bit, looks like a little bit weaker according to the judges. But I just admire these kids so much because they can attempt a 3.0 dive. Here's another St. Charles diver. Cover your ears.
Tony Marinaccio with his final dive. He's a senior, and this is a 2.6 degree difficulty.
The concentration. That's way back. Nice dive, Tony. 2.6 dive, degree of difficulty, but he really did a nice job on that. Judges gave him all solid 5s, 1-4 in there, but they were tossing that sucker out.
Good dive by Tony Marinaccio. Gets congratulations from Mike Magee. Here's Sean Kiely, another Lake Forest diver, senior. There's a back 1.5 somersault with a half twist, a 2.1.
Yeah, he made it look pretty easy.
Got a 6.5 in there.
Yeah, he did a nice job of controlling that, and he, you know, it's a 2.1 difficulty dive, but he made it look like it's a 1.3. It did a nice job of putting that in the water.
So mostly 6s there as the top 2 and bottom 2 are tossed. Marc Zabriskie now with his final dive from Niles North.
Everybody's final dive. This is it. Oh, boy, look close to me. Sorry.
But the classy fans with applause, and I think Marc knew it. 2s and 3s mostly for Marc on that dive.
I don't know if I can look at this a second time. It looks like he's so close to the board, but he's not. There's his finish. It looked like his head was going to hit the board. He was leaning in a little bit, and good thing we have a trainer on duty, I guess. But he didn't hit the board. These guys are real close to each other. They spend a lot of time in the summers together, and a lot of diving meets.
Well, Victor Paglia is getting congratulated by his fellow divers, and we've got the award ceremony coming up. But it is great to see the athleticism by so many of these athletes. They practice it so often just to get here, to get the opportunity to do it in the state championship meet. And Victor, a very proud guy. When we come back, we've got the 100-yard butterfly. Back to swimming next on Fox Sports Chicago. Back at New Trier High School, getting ready for the 100-yard butterfly. Lane assignments brought to you by Country Companies Insurance. And we're underway in the consolation heat. The 100-yard fly. That is 4 lengths of the pool.
Yeah, this is a very difficult stroke to do. The double action here, you have to be very coordinated. The kick is a dolphin kick. The feet can't separate much as you want them to. They can't separate.
Eugene Kim in lane 3 and Matt Vituro in lane 4 right now have the lead.
Yeah.
Now with 1 length of the pool to go, all 6 swimmers pretty much in sync.
It's hard to tell who's ahead here, and it takes a little bit of a luck here on the finish where who's in the right rhythm with their stroke.
Looks like Aaron Klein is going to get there first from Barrington, and he did.
Yeah, is he happy?
In lane 2. So in the consolation finals for the 100-yard butterfly, Aaron Klein from Barrington who had the 5th best time in the prelims of the consolation swimmers, wins this one. Now check out his turn and finish here. Watch Queen, who was pretty much neck and neck with the other 5 swimmers.
All the way at the top of the screen. You can see that he comes in just about neck and neck. But then he's able to pull it away. You can see he's pulled it away. He's must be a real strong kid, but he finishes perfectly. His hands are right in the right spot as he's taking that last stroke. He doesn't have to adjust his stroke for the finish or glide in. It's a real...
Shane Wilden won the 100 fly last year from St. Charles, and in lane 4, as we look at our lane assignments brought to you by Country Companies Insurance, is Steve North of St. Charles, and he had the best time in the 100-yard fly in the prelims. So watch him in lane 4.
Remember, he had an awesome leg on the medley relay as well.
Take your mark.
And Steve North in lane 4 out of the gate pretty good, along with Jonathan Burgess from Marmion and Matt Prey from Naperville North at the top of your screen.
Well, the fans are going nuts in this race.
Lane 3 right now, Matt Prey, and up comes from lane 4, Steve North from St. Charles.
And North is 3 down.
As they make the final turn.
He's got the fastest turnover here, and nice turn. North looks like he's coming on real strong.
North in lane 4 with the lead, being chased. Doesn't look like anybody's get him.
What a great swim he's got.
And
tremendous
getting there
swim.
is Steve North of St. Charles in lane 4, and the fans next to us love it. As North, who had the best time in the prelims on Friday night.
That could be the state championship. Lane 7 is also from St. Charles, and that's what the St. Charles fans are going so crazy about. First and second.
Jacob Wassinger from St. Charles was in lane 7. And he finished right behind North.
What a great swim, and I think those guys are in the relay too, coming up. So there they are, giving each other a nice little hug.
51.00 on the nose for Steve North as here he makes his turn for the final leg of the 100-yard butterfly. A victory for St. Charles.
And he's off the wall fast. Now look at the finish here. He's all by himself in the middle of the screen, and then there's a race for the finish, and that's what the St. Charles fans were going nuts about. They got second from 7th place. Nice guys. Nice race.
And he likes it. Stevie North, the senior from St. Charles, pumping the fist after the victory. 100-yard butterfly. And St. Charles in pretty good shape. Up next, we've got the 100-yard freestyle featuring Andrew Schnell from Marmion. That's coming up next on Fox Sports Chicago. Jake Dorsey, the champion, Champaign Centennial, as Jake wins the diving. There you see it, 453 points, eking out a victory over Victor Peguia from Lake Forest. And there is Dorsey accepting the medal for first place in the diving. Dorsey had the most points in the prelim on Friday and was equal to the test in the championships.
Here's his first dive of the finals here, and he just really nails that thing. He deserves it. He did a nice job this year. It was really competitive diving. It was fun to watch this year, and you can see how excited he is.
17-year-old senior Jake Dorsey wins the diving championships. Event number 6 at the IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving Championships, the 100-yard butterfly. Aaron Klenn won the consolation, and Steve North took the championship finals with the time of 51 flat. And St. Charles finishing 1-2 in the 100-yard butterfly. There is Steve North now, the senior from St. Charles, the champ in the 100-yard butterfly.
That is so cool. Plus it's 29 points for their team. Remember, they were only 4 points behind Marmion at the beginning of the meet.
You know, I think this is probably the only place in America that Billy Corgan, the lead singer from Smashing Pumpkins, would get lost in a crowd.
Good.
And there was North, yeah.
Yeah, nice finish. I wonder when, exactly when it is he realizes they got first and second. There's
St. Charles trying to make it 2 titles in 3 years. And North thanks to his fans in the stands.
And St. Charles has just taken over the lead with 71 points over Lake Forest with 59 points, Naperville Central with 49 points. And that was the large cheer we heard over here to our right, St. Charles fans.
And Bruce Marmion is in 6th place, so this is a big race coming up in the 100-yard freestyle. There are the standings after the diving with Lake Forest ahead, but of course St. Charles, as Bruce just mentioned, has surpassed Lake Forest and taken the overall lead following event 6, the 100-yard fly.
It's starting to get a little nerve-wracking for coaches now.
Country Companies Insurance bringing you the lane assignments for the consolation heat, the 100-yard freestyle.
Nice start.
Nick Moran at the bottom of your screen got the best jump out of Lyle.
He hasn't taken a breath yet.
He's got the lead right now.
Hey, there he took one. He does have the lead, and he's really going out after this race here. He was out the fastest, 22.81, 82.
And Pat Kennedy in lane 3.
The Loyola Academy, just at the same time. Here they come with the final lap.
Kennedy in lane 3, and Nick Moran at the bottom of your screen in lane 7, not jumping into it. In lane 5 is Lowacki, and we'll see who wins it.
He did. Lane 5 came right in there. Lane 7, Moran, who took it out so fast, was second. He was out in 22.8, and then his teammate, but lane 3 did get third.
So Lowacki from Roselle, who just jumped up there at the very end.
Yeah, it did. Really got strong that last length. Here's a race that we've been looking forward to all day. Here's the turn. Here's the turn coming off the wall.
Great push off there.
Yeah, terrific push off. And watch the finish here. He just kind of pulled away. It's amazing how he just almost he could turn it on.
Lowacki, a junior from Roselle, and he wins the consolation finals. The championship finals are right now, and Andrew Schnell is in lane 4. And
Mathias is lane 2. He's the winner at the 50. Okay, Schnell, remember, is in lane 4. That's really 3 down from the top here. And Mathias is in lane 2, who is our champion in the 50 free. Mathias, I anticipate getting out real fast. And if he's like a lot of sprinters, that he'll get out fast and then try to hold on.
Yeah, Mathias has the lead as he makes the turn.
And Schnell's right there with him.
Schnell had the better turn and jumped right ahead of Mathias.
Yeah,
2 lanes down from him is Jamie Daggett from Oak Park River Forest giving chase.
Can Schnell see him over there, though? This last length is going to be so critical. It looks like Schnell had a better turn.
Mathias and Schnell. Mathias with the lead right now. Schnell trying to catch up. Mathias looks at the top of your screen, but getting in there first is Schnell.
Schnell, 45.67 and 46.10 for Mathias. Mathias took it out really hard. That's the way he has to swim it, and hopes to hold on. He held on almost until the last 5 yards. Nice race.
So on the 100-yard freestyle, Less than a half a second separates Andrew Schnell from Justin Mathias, who won the 50-yard freestyle. But it's Schnell from Marmion, and that's a big victory for Marmion, which was in 6th place coming into this event in the overall standing. So they can definitely use the 16 points. And check it out here, Bruce.
Yeah, this is lane 2, lane 2, and he had the lead right there. Justin did, and then you can see that.
Now that's maybe where being 6'7" helps a little bit. You get the fingers in there before Justin Mathias, and he just barely beat him.
Yeah, he's what you call a real stud. Great.
So Andrew Schnell, the winner in the 100-yard freestyle. Up next is the Ironman event, the 500-yard free. That's coming up as Fox Sports Chicago's coverage of the IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving Championships continues next. Stop showing my chest on TV, guys. Oh, guess it isn't me. The 100-yard freestyle goes to Andrew Schnell, his second victory of the day. He took the 200-yard free and now the 100-yard freestyle, and that's big for Marmion. And Schnell's friends and family enjoying it.
I recognize that cap. There he is. Works his way down, congratulating each of his teammates. Opponents. Teammates, I guess. Although they kind of a little fraternity of swimmers and race against each other all throughout the season at the nationals, junior national level. Some of them play water polo together. Nice job by Aaron. His second victory.
Art Edstrom, head boys swimming coach at Deerfield High School, hands Schnell the medal. Let's take a look one more time at the finish for Andrew Schnell in the 100-yard freestyle.
He really had a race on his hands, but look, he had a great finish. He stretches and reaches for the wall.
And the other results from the 100-yard freestyle: Mathias finishing less than a half a second back, and then Jamie Daggett from Oak Park in third, followed by Anders Holm, Tyler Belanger, and then Ryan Searby. Now comes the Ironman event, Bruce, the 500-yard freestyle. Country Company's insurance lane assignments for the consolation heat. Those who finished 7 through 12 in the prelims on Friday night.
This, my swimmers don't like to hear me say this, but this is my favorite event. I love this event.
Thank you, Marc.
It's 20 laps of the pool. You'll notice at the other end that they have their counters. You're allowed to have a counter that help you get through the 20 laps without losing track. Although these kids train so hard and do this event so often that they don't lose count too often. Sometimes in the heat of a race they might. Strategy here: breathe every stroke. You don't want to go into oxygen debt. But it's you have to race. You can't sit back and try to do it the last lane. If you let somebody get away from they've gotten away, and you're hard pressed to catch up with them.
Have you ever found, Bruce, anyone that's as equally talented at a 50 or a 100-yard free as a 500-yard free, or is it usually two different types of swimmers?
Yeah, they are two different kinds of swimmers. The 500 people, the distance people, are real quality. They really like to train, and they're really mentally tough. There's a bumper sticker I saw the other day, and I've seen it over the years from time to time. When the going gets tough, the sprinters get out, and that means get out of the pool during practice. And the distance people like to train, and you can train them all day long, and they're just like machines. But they're a lot of fun to work with, and You have the great personalities, and I really like this training kids for the 500.
Matt Miklius in lane 6 from Arlington Heights in St. Viator. He is a freshman, and right now he has the lead in the consolation final through 8 laps. So they are now on leg 9 of 20. Into the championship finals, Tommy Lockman had the best time of the prelim, and he was 4 seconds better than anybody else. 4 minutes and 37 seconds was his time. So this is certainly a lengthy event, time-wise as well as lap-wise.
Well, you notice that there are 3 freshmen in this heat and a sophomore. Only 1 senior in this heat, and 1 junior, 1 sophomore, and the other 3 are freshmen. And I'm sure that this is their opportunity to swim in the state meet, and this is the spot that they can fit in the best.
Halfway home is Mike Regali from Naperville Central. Now has the advantage. He is in lane 5 as you see him now. There's the turn by Regali. Lap 13.
You can see how long their strokes are, as well as their turnover being good and breathing every stroke, that their strokes are really efficient. They pull underneath their body. They pull all the way down past their suit, and their strokes they're very efficient swimmers, and some of them go on forever and ever.
Regali is a junior from Naperville Central. He has the lead. Casey Dow, a freshman from St. Charles in lane 3, is starting to catch up a little bit as we have now completed 15 laps.
4 more to go after they touch at this end here. With 2 laps to go, you'll hear the gun go off. That's a warning or a signal to the swimmer that there's only 2 laps to go. Anybody that's been paying attention to the race, though, knows that, and the kids know that, their parents know that, their coaches know that. They know exactly where they are.
Good shot of Regali there, who has the lead with only 3 laps to go. Regali from Naperville Central catching up. As you see, come into your screen, David Plandowski, a senior from Lake Forest, and now he is even with Regali as they make the turn.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice finish here. 2 laps to go. You'll see them stop breathing every stroke as they start sprinting towards the wall here and put their head down. It'll be okay to go into oxygen debt with 10 yards to go.
Plandowski and Regali, and it's Plandowski with the lead from Lake Forest, and the senior trying to put it into high gear, but catching up is Regali.
Wow.
Very close between Regali and Plandowski.
David Plandowski, the senior, won it there in lane 4.
4:48.74
is the 4th. That was the 4th.
That was the 4th grade. 4:44.63 was the time of Plandowski, and Regali right behind him at 4:44.81.
Less than 2/10 of a second behind him.
Let's look at the turn right before Plandowski catches him. Talking about Regali.
Nice turn there together. They come off the wall. They know exactly where each other is. You can see that they're getting close to each other. Swimmers tend to do that. It's hard to tell who won there. It's a good thing we had the electronic timing.
But it is David Plandowski, the senior from Lake Forest High School, who wins the consolation final in the 500-yard freestyle. And up next, the championship heat, brought to you by Country Companies Insurance, your lane assignments. Tommy Lockman, the aforementioned Champaign Central junior, is in lane 4.
Andy Giebers from Lake Forest is in lane 6. He's a great swimmer, and so is Tom Hayden, just a sophomore from New Trier, is in lane 7. Those two were in the fastest heat last night, and it didn't look like they were doing as well as some of the previous heats, but the heat was so fast that they both got in.
Well, pretty even 2 laps in. And as we just saw in the consolation finals, even if you're trailing for 18 laps, you can turn on the jets in the final 2 and catch up. That's what Plandowski did. He was kind of hovering around the middle for most of that race, but then caught up to Mike Regali just in the last 2 laps and was able to pass him to take home tops of the consolation finals and 7th place overall in this 500-yard freestyle event. And Tommy Lockman, the junior from Champaign Central, has the lead early on. His time in the prelims on Friday night was 4:37.38.
4 seconds faster than anybody else in the prelims. Now, a lot of these kids are such experienced swimmers that they know exactly what they have to do to get into the finals, or they think they do usually, and usually they're right. Sometimes they'll disappoint themselves, but there could have been some kids holding back and just saying, I'll wait till the finals. But the way this is shaping up here, it looks like everybody's lockstep with where they're supposed to be. Lane 4 is the fastest seated time, then lane 5, then lane 2, and it alternates back and forth across the pool.
Dan Williams is in lane 5 from Hinsdale Central, and he is now caught up with Tommy Lockman as we are 7 laps in the 500-yard freestyle. 13 to go. It is Lockman and Williams so far setting the pace.
And Andrew Wells is starting to make a little bit of a move here in lane 3, right? But there is a nice race shaping up in the middle of the pool here. From a spectator's point of view, maybe not from the coach's point of view or from their point of view.
So this is one of your favorites, Bruce, as a coach. How about as a swimmer?
And not me as a swimmer. The swimmers that like this race like this. I mean, they really like this race, and they'd rather be in. A lot of them would much rather be in this race. There's more strategy involved. If they make a mistake on a start, there's a chance to recover. They miss a turn, there's a chance to recover. Sometimes they feel like the better swimmer has a better chance of doing well in a race like this, as opposed to a race where you make a mistake, you're done.
I liked it for about 3 laps. The last 17 I could do without.
There's a counter down at the end there.
Yeah, he's holding it up for Tommy Lockman, who still has the lead in lane 4, but close behind in lane 5. Coming into your screen near the bottom is Dan Williams from Hinsdale Central.
Starting to get a little bit of a separation. You can't let him get away, otherwise you've lost him. So Dan's got to try to stay with him if he can. And Tommy Lockman has to stay with him.
So 15 laps complete. 4 more to go, and it appears to be a 2-person race between Tommy Lockman, the junior from Champaign Central, there he is, and Dan Williams from Hinsdale Central. He is also a junior, is trailing by now a good couple of seconds.
Yep. It was a great race. It was a good race for the first couple laps here. Now sometimes the counter people can signal. Coaches devise all kinds of ways to speed up or slow down, or you're right on pace that the coaches have set for them by swinging the cards. There was a gun. We've got 2 laps to go. It's a loud gun, too. And
Tommy Lockman
looks like he's getting stronger and stronger. Now you can see the colors change on the cards. The counters, they all show that fluorescent orange. That's a signal that you're done if you make it to the other end.
And here it is, Tommy Lockman all alone in the home stretch. Giving chase is Dan Williams, but he won't catch him. Tommy Lockman stretching, and he's got it. He wins the 500-yard freestyle with a time of 4:36.6.
Really nice time, nice swim. I think it's a personal best for him. I could tell that he's happy. Here, and he looks really strong at the end. We get a chance to see him finish again. His pace at the end, or his arm movement at the end, was incredible.
As nice of a swim as that was for him, it's pretty hard to believe that the meet record is 4:25, 10 seconds better. Here's the final turn and finish for Tommy Lockman, the champ of the 500-yard freestyle.
Okay, you can see that he's coming off the wall, but where's the turnover here at the finish, the last 5 yards there? He's just turning, and that's slow motion, folks, and he's still moving his arms pretty fast. I can't even swing my arms that fast, I don't think. A nice finish. You can tell he's one happy swimmer.
He's psyched after taking the 500-yard freestyle. And that's a big victory for Champaign Central's Tommy Lockman, the favorite to win this event. And he lived up to billing. Up next, the IHSA Boys Swimming and Diving State Championship. So we've got the 200-yard freestyle relay. Tommy Lockman wins the 500-yard free. Tommy Lockman, the winner in the 500-yard freestyle, back here at New Trier High School.
Champion in the 500-yard freestyle with a time of 4:36.60.
He is one happy guy.
Tommy Lockman of Champaign Central.
He deserved it. He had a great swim. Nice race. Real strong swimmer. There he is.
4:36.60 the time for Lockman and Dan Williams of Hinsdale Central, just 2 seconds behind. Time now for the 200-yard freestyle relay. Lane assignment brought to you by Country Companies Insurance. This is the consolation.
Thank you, Marc.
Everybody goes 2 laps of the pool. This is such an exciting race that I can't even describe it. I don't think that it happens so fast. It's a brand new race the last 5 years. And the coaches love it, the swimmers like it. It's a lot of fun.
And Matt Prey of Naperville North was best in the first 50 yards. But with the new swimmers out there, Oak Park and some other schools have caught up. Naperville Central in lane 4 also.
Loyola at the bottom of the screen too. They're right in there as well. Lane 5.
Roselle Park, yeah, they're catching up also.
Jeff Gooden had a great leg there. Now we got Brian Westfall swimming for Lake Park. But then Naperville Central starting to come on. They need this race as well. Joe Thornton is leading the way there for Naperville Central.
And Thornton touches first, and now we've got the final leg of the 200-yard freestyle relay, the last 50 yards.
And Pat Kennedy is anchoring for Loyola, and Charlie Goodoffer.
Yeah, Loyola from Wilmette, the bottom of your screen, but at the top of your screen, Naperville North trying to catch up, but
it looked like
it's Loyola.
Loyola
Academy of Wilmette, the champ in the 200-yard freestyle relay. That's the consolation finals.
Naperville Central was third there. Might have crushed their hopes for any chance of a trophy, or first place trophy.
So Wilmette, Loyola Academy takes the consolation finals, and now we've got the championship finals. And this should be a good one. Let's take a look first, though.
Here's the finish here. You can see Loyola at the very bottom of the screen from Wilmette. It's quite obvious that they were the best team there. Nice job, Tim Richardson, the coach at Loyola.
The championship finals are next, and some pretty good ones. Marmion, Oak Park River Forest. As we look at our Country Companies Insurance lane assignments, Marmion is in the 4th lane, Oak Park River Forest in the 3rd. Watch out for St. Charles in lane 7.
Watch out for Evanston in lane 5. Don't forget about New Trier in lane 6. This can go anyway.
Marmion had the best time at the prelim.
Thank you, Marc.
Evanston the 2nd.
Marmion's lane 4. Keep an eye on them.
And Andrew Schnell will be the anchor man for Marmion.
Oak Park is off to a quick lead there with Jason Daggert.
Oak Park River Forest, though, with the early lead.
Marmion's going to have some catching up to do there. They're in lane 4, right in the middle, and the boy with the blue cap on
But a great jump for Fritz Jacobs from Oak Park River Forest, and also Jonathan Burgess from Mermian. Both got great jumps.
Jonathan's caught up now. New Trier, lane 6, Bolton Green. Jake Schwarzen just finished there.
Lanes 3 and 4, along with lane 6, New Trier. And right now, New Trier's got the lead in lane 6. Catching up Oak Park River Forest.
Here comes Schnell. Tom Hayden is the anchor leg there for New Trier. They're in first.
There they go, closing in on the final turn of this 200-yard freestyle relay.
Henry Zabriskie is in swimming for Oak Park in lane 3, and look at Schnell come on.
Oak Park River Forest, can Schnell get there in time for Marmion? No! Oak Park River Forest takes the 200-yard freestyle relay. Henry Zabriskie, a happy man after closing it out. Andrew Schnell can't believe it. He thought he got there, Bruce. It was pretty close.
It was pretty close, and I think he's taking it pretty hard. The fact that there's a lot of pressure on him. Everybody knows he's the champion in the 200 and the 100-yard freestyle, and they depend on him for the race, and that puts a little added pressure on you. But look at this finish. It's kind of hard to tell. Look at the finish. It's hard to tell from that angle who finishes first, but they're all right there.
Just barely. Oak Park River Forest.
Yeah,
Henry Zabriskie getting in there. Schnell looking up. Zabriskie jubilant after a victory in the 200 freestyle relay.
Let's look at this finish one more time here. And Schnell at the bottom of the pool, or bottom of the lane lines there, and they're just reaching there with Henry from Oak Park.
You can see Henry getting his hand in there just before.
And New Trier not far behind either.
Yeah.
Wow, that was exciting.
The 200-yard freestyle relay goes to Oak Park River Forest. And up next, the 100-yard backstroke. This is Fox Sports Chicago. So up next on the docket is the 100-yard backstroke.
This is quite a fun event to watch, too.
But that 200-yard freestyle was the most exciting event so far, Bruce.
It is really a fun event to watch. It's not so great as a coach or a swimmer. There's a lot of pressure on those kids. The relay starts are so important. The exchanges. There are a lot of times there's disqualifications in the sort. But it's a fun event for spectators, and it's so exciting, and it's great for the team.
And the great things about these events is no matter who wins, there's always an ovation from the crowd, even if the people cheering aren't cheering for a first place finish.
It's a great sport. They support one another. They appreciate each other's effort. It's a lot of work. These guys are up in the morning at 5 o'clock eating breakfast. Their parents drive them to school to practice for the most part. They're either weight training or swimming every morning and afternoon. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of mental toughness. It's a sport where you don't get to talk between swims or anything. Your head's in the water all the time. Don't get to see anything.
There's New Trier picking up their 5th place awards.
And the New Trier athletic director, assistant athletic director, Lee Kenneke, who's also our meet manager today. She does such a fine job of running these meets, and she's been doing it a long time, and she's got it down to a science. People don't appreciate all that goes into running a meet. You just don't open the doors and let the swimmers and divers in and think it's going to happen. It's all the crowd. We had 1,000 swimmers on deck yesterday. The balcony is just packed. And trying to keep everybody happy.
New Trier, I stand corrected, picking up their 3rd place awards, then Marmion, and now Oak Park River Forest. The defending state champs win the 200-yard freestyle relay. It's the same event they won last year that vaulted them to a state championship. Oak Park last year also won the 200 medley relay. As well as the 400-yard relay. So they swept the relays last year, and 1 for 2 so far today as St. Charles took the 200 medley relay. Oak Park River Forest, the champs in the 200-yard freestyle relay, and here it is again.
Here's the finish again with Oak Park winning over Marmion with New Trier at the bottom there. It's a great finish. Marmion moved from 5th place to 2nd place in the team scoring now, still behind St. Charles by just 12 points. Oak Park vaulted themselves up into 3rd place now. Things are getting tight. Things are getting interesting.
So St. Charles, the champ in 1997, won the 200 medley relay. Right now with 95 points, as Bruce just said, atop the standings after 9 events. And now the fellas getting ready for the 100-yard backstroke. We have 3 events left. First, the consolation heat for the 100-yard backstroke. And there you see the lane assignments brought to you by Country Companies Insurance. Tom Lowenthal with an opportunity to pick up some points for Marmion. He's in lane 2.
Thank you, Marc.
This event looks so easy, but it's not. You notice that some of the swimmers kick underwater for about halfway under the water at the start. Some of them will do it at the turn. They are allowed to roll over on their stomach only prior to the turn. No stroking on their stomach. They can roll over. You'll watch the turn here where they'll roll over and take one. They're allowed to take 1 stroke there, and boom. So it makes it very similar to the freestyle turn. And you can see that we're off to a great start here. Lane 2. I don't know what's going on over there in lane 2, by the way. He might be on a freestyle relay. He knows he's not going to get any higher than where he is now. But here, look at the race in the middle of the pool. This is
Scott Siebert in lane 3 from Oak Park River Forest, and Pierre Johnson from Champaign Centennial. Who will get there first?
I think it was Scott, wasn't it?
Scott Siebert from Oak Park River Forest in lane 3. He wins the consolation final.
Notice the turnover on that. They were moving their arms really fast. Okay, here's a good shot at the turn. They're allowed to roll over on their stomach here, make the turn. Both of them turn almost simultaneously. They're kicking off the wall. Kick is critical in the backstroke. You have to be kicking hard the whole time. You can't let it go. And you can see the finish was really close.
Siebert,
real strong finish.
Just in ahead of Johnson of Champaign Centennial and Sean O'Donnell from Kankakee. And Siebert, the senior, wins the consolation finals. Now the championship heat. Our lane assignments brought to you once again by Country Companies Insurance. Tom Martinson in lane 4 from Fenwick. He had the top time on Friday night in the prelims.
Thank you, Marc.
Ryan Foley from New Trier got off to a good start there. We have Kyle Jackson on lane 7, who looks like he didn't have as good a start, but Ryan did have a great start in lane 6.
And Tom Martinson with a good turn there in lane 4, and he's got the lead right now. Martinson in lane 4, 50 yards complete.
Yep,
He's in front.
Yeah, Foley second, lane 6. Tom Martinson over in lane 4.
And Foley trying to catch up here as they make the final turn. Now the stretch run for the 100-yard backstroke. Lane 4's Tom Martinson has the lead.
Tom looks like he's got a real command of what's going on here. He's almost a full body length ahead.
And Martinson will win it easily. The senior from Oak Park Fenwick takes first in the 100-yard backstroke. And with that, Bruce, only 2 make that 1 individual who had the top time in the prelim, doesn't have the top time today.
Amazing.
And that was Aaron McCracken in the 200-yard individual medley. Dan Trupin won that one. Otherwise, everybody that had the best time in the prelim has won the championship finals.
Tom really strong in that event. And take a look at the finish here. You see that his turnover is terrific, and they have to work on that a lot to get those arms through the air fast. And you can see that he finished and reaches right across over his face a little bit to finish.
I think he knew right there and then that he had won it. The subtle walk toward the scoreboard, but at that point he knew he was champ.
Doesn't even look like he's breathing hard.
And he made it look easy as Tom Martinson wins finals of the 100-yard backstroke. Only 2 to go. The 400 free relay, but first the 100-yard breaststroke is next. Aaron McCracken will try to redeem himself when we come back. The broadcast rights for this championship event have been granted to Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport Television by the Illinois High School Association. Any reproduction or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Fox Sports Chicago, Intersport Television, and the IHSA is prohibited. With Bruce Woodbury, Dave Pash at New Trier High School in Winnetka for the IHSA Boys State Swimming and Diving Championships. We've got 2 events left, events 11 and 12. Event 10, the 100-yard backstroke, won by Tom Martinson of Oak Park, Fenwick. And the senior among those getting their medals right now. And there you see Martinson's time of 51.71, well ahead of the rest of the field. And the New Trier faithful right behind us, in our ears. Ryan Foley, that's who they're cheering for. There you see the Trevians.
That ain't no Trevian. That's a devil.
Bad hair day. So we've got the 100-yard backstroke, followed by the 400 freestyle relay.
It's a breaststroke next.
Breaststroke, my bad. This was the backstroke. And there's the champ, Tom Martinson from Oak Park, Fenwick. Receiving congratulatory handshakes from his competitors. Martinson bowing and accepting the award, the gold for the 100-yard backstroke.
Okay, here's his finish. You can see the turnover again. He finishes across his face a little bit with the next cycle of arms, I believe, right there. And I missed his reaction before. I was watching the rest of the race. I think he was happy. I think that means I'm happy.
So to the locker room goes Tom Martinson. After taking home first place in the 100-yard backstroke, and now we've got the 100-yard breaststroke. Lane assignments for the consolation heat sponsored by Country Companies Insurance.
We'll see all kinds of different styles here in the breaststroke. The strong kickers glide a little.
Thank you, Marc.
Some kids have a real narrow pull, some have a wider pull. You're allowed 1 pull underwater. They're up and going. You see that both arms work simultaneously, but they're underwater, and then they dive towards the front.
In lane 3, it's Louis Torres from Niles West and Skokie, who right now has the advantage, but everybody else is just a couple of tenths of a second behind.
It'd be interesting to see what happens in the second half of the race. Torres definitely was out first, and now you can see the swimmer in lane 2, Doug Fulmer, Pulner from Palatine is catching up.
Here we go. The last leg of the 100-yard breaststroke. Louis Torres in lane 3 has the lead, but barely. And coming in now to your screen on the bottom is George Sands from Leyden. But
Torres from
Torres in there first.
In there first. Nice job.
Louis Torres, the sophomore, wins the consolation final for Niles West.
That's a lifetime best for him. First time under a minute, 59.78. Very nice swim for him. He held up really well.
And that's actually better than some of the prelim times of those in the championship finals on Friday night.
Yeah, I don't think he shaved his head yesterday. Look at his finish. He's diving for the wall, stretched. He had a good finish. He just got stronger. He did a really nice job.
Pretty much had the lead from the get-go, and despite challenges from others, he was able to hang on.
Yeah, he did a nice job.
Now we got the championship finals, and Aaron McCracken, lane 4, Naperville Central.
Thank you, Marc.
Aaron McCracken, who of course was knocked off in the 200-yard individual medley, trying to make up for it with a victory in the 100-yard breaststroke.
Yeah, his start didn't look as good as the others, but he's caught up now. He's a little bit behind, but he's still got, there's still 60 yards to go.
He is the defending champ.
That's right.
And he's starting to catch up now to Eugene Kim.
From Flossmoor, home of Flossmoor. And Eugene is off off really well, and is getting, looks like he's pulling away a little bit.
But here comes McCracken catching up in lane 4. It looks like it'll be Kim and McCracken for the final 25 yards, and a great push-off.
Coming down to the end here.
For McCracken.
It's going to be critical to see how they finish. You can see that Kim recovers a little bit above the water.
McCracken's got the lead. And Aaron
go.
McCracken in. He defends his state championship in the 100-yard breaststroke, just edging out Eugene Kim for the title.
He sure got pushed. He wasn't as fast as he was last night. He got pushed, and I'm sure he was playing that through his mind there. Eugene Kim did a nice job. It was a nice race.
Aaron McCracken, the junior, he won it as a sophomore in 56.39. He does it as a junior in 56.83, and he'll be back again to do it next year.
Okay, you can see that McCracken here is catches him a little bit. That's Kim, and McCracken is on the right-hand side. We don't quite have a, there we go. Now we got a shot of him. You can see that he just touches slightly ahead of him, and is able to good underwater work there. And here's the finish. You really can see a contrast in styles, that Kim at the top recovers a little bit above the water, and McCracken recovers.
In that situation, Bruce, when you're coming down the stretch, you know where your combatants are, don't you?
It really doesn't matter if you look in breaststroke. If you look, you lose your rhythm.
You can feel them, though, can't you?
Yeah, you can feel them. You know they're there.
So Aaron McCracken takes first in the championship finals of the 100-yard breaststroke. Our final event is next on Fox Sports Chicago. Dave Patch with Bruce Woodbury back at New Trier High School, where Aaron McCracken from Naperville Central has won the 100-yard breaststroke. Let's check in now on our official results to date. Eugene Kim finishing just behind Aaron McCracken at 56.83, and there's Dan Trupin, who knocked off McCracken earlier in the 200-yard individual medley. For the most complete coverage of IHSA sports action, tune in every week to IHSA Sportsnet. Host Tom Waddle brings you all the highlights and recaps of the week's biggest games. IHSA Sportsnet, the official weekly highlight show of the IHSA, can be seen this Sunday at 12 noon and 6 p.m. The consolation finals of the 400-yard freestyle, the final event in today's state championship meet.
Everybody all 4 swimmers get to go 4 laps here.
And Mike Riccali has the early lead, top of your screen for Naperville Central. He's in lane 2.
Relay starts are critical again here. Not much usually separates.
Riccali with a huge lead in lane 2.
Yeah, some coaches go with their fastest swimmer first, try to get out there in that smooth water. And that's what Naperville Central has chosen to do. It looks like, although they might be so angry about last night not making it into the top 6, that they feel like they have something to prove.
Matt Simcock got a great jump and makes the turn as Central still has the lead. Just behind Naperville Central, and lane 4 is Lake Forest. But right now it is Naperville Central in command.
Here's the key swimmer, this 3rd swimmer. For most teams, this is the key one.
There's Aaron McCracken taking off.
Champaign Central at the bottom of the screen is doing, they're in 2nd.
But right now it's Aaron McCracken's Naperville Central club that has the lead. But Champaign Central trying to keep it close.
But Tommy Lockman, I think we remember him from the 500 freestyle. Tommy's their 3rd swimmer, and their anchor, Champaign's anchor, is Dan Trupin.
Catching up to McCracken now. For Champaign Central is Tommy Lockman. Lockman has caught him and now has the lead.
McCracken just came off the breaststroke, remember, so he might be a little tired.
Lockman and McCracken will touch just about the same time. We've got now the final 100 yards in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Now it's Mundelein who's in 2nd place of Champaign Central. Dan Trupin, who already has a victory in the 200-yard individual medley, is leading as he makes the turn for the final 50 yards.
Yeah, Trupin is kind of taking over this. It's outside smoke time. They're swimming really well.
The winner of this event will place 7th in the overall 400-yard freestyle standings, and it's Champaign Central that has the lead right now.
Champaign Central moved up here.
Trying to catch Trupin is Mundelein, but Trupin is there first for Champaign Central, which will win the consolation final and be in 7th place in the overall standings for this event. So Tommy Lockman really picked up the pace. Lockman a winner in the 500-yard freestyle. He continued to show his prowess in that particular event by getting Champaign Central out to that big lead over Naperville Central. And here's the replay.
And look at the finish. You can see it down at the bottom of the screen. There turned out to be much of a race there. They took over right from the beginning and did a nice job all the way through the meet and all through the race. What a nice way to finish their meet. Champaign Central comes up and does a nice job.
So the final heat of the final race. Country Company's insurance lane assignments for the championship heat in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Marmion in lane 4.
St. Charles in lane 2. All they have to do is finish without a disqualification. I believe they're the champs.
It would be Joe Cable's 2nd championship in 3 years.
Yeah, strong program. They have a number of seniors, but
Thank you, Marc.
St. Charles is at the top of your screen in lane 2 in the 400-yard freestyle relay championship finals. The bottom of your screen, Naperville North. Right now in lane 3, it's Winnetka Trier with the lead.
Yeah, they lead off with their fastest swimmer, Connor O'Brien. Connor's going to be a real force in this meet next year. He's in 3 relays this year, and I look for him to do great things next year in his senior year. You can see that he's out smoking with the rest of them. Stephen North is in the lane 1 for St. Charles, but all they know, they have to finish the race to win.
Winnetka Trier with the lead right now. However, Oak Park River Forest able to catch up. In lane 5, it's Oak Park River Forest. And now jumping in is Marmion Academy, trailing Winnetka Trier.
This is Ryan Foley, the backstroker, is their second swimmer in the 100-yard freestyle here for New Trier. Coming up with Fulton Breen, a senior who's has had a just super meet, helping him out in 3 relays.
New Trier and Marmion Academy even. And now the final leg, the last 100 yards of this 400-yard freestyle relay. It's between New Trier and Marmion right now.
Yeah, I think Marmion's taken over now. This is Nicholas Burgess. Just took the lead from his brother, and look who's we got Andrew Schnell. He's going to be the anchor there, and you know he's going to be out there.
Schnell with the cap at the bottom of your screen, and he has got the lead. Schnell with the final turn, the last 25 yards of the 400-yard freestyle relay.
What a swim by Fulton Breen over in lane 3, and Marmion has got a real chase in their. So Evanston High School is doing a great job there in lane 5 as well. Schnell is just taking over now.
Yeah, Schnell, look at that. Look at the lead he has. In lane 4, after Nicholas Burgess set the table for him. Now the final 50 yards. In the 400-yard freestyle.
And there's Schnell finishing up with a, look at that leg kick. How powerful is that leg kick he's got there?
Andrew Schnell coasting for Marmion Academy as they win the 400-yard freestyle relay. And an unbelievable time, and look at him. Schnell. 3:05.84 is the time, and that is a new state meet record, surpassing Oak Park River Forest time of 3:06.19 last year.
Trier was second. Oak Park River Forest was third. St. Charles, they were 6th in that heat, but you know, I was watching them and their fans. All they wanted to do was get the water without false starting. They knew they'd win the state championship if they could do that. And when the third person dove in the water, the rest of the swimmers looked up to their fans there and gave them the #1 finger. They were done. Fantastic swimming.
There is Andrew Schnell, the anchorman from Marmion Academy, which sets the state record in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Let's take a look at the replay here as Schnell just poured it on to the end.
Look at Schnell's finish. How powerful is that? I wish we could see his leg kick because it is tremendous. Sprinters need to know how to kick hard, and he does know how to kick hard. And they work and train on that all the time. Now you can see the leg kick here. Look how strong his leg kick is as he finishes into the wall, and look how much he dominates.
He knew he won. He just wanted to see if he had broken, along with the rest of his teammates, the state record. He looked right away.
That's right. He knew what the time was. It's on the record board here what the state record is.
So Marmion Academy takes the 400-yard freestyle relay. When we come back, though, we'll have our official results and awards presentation and announce the state champions in 1999 in boys swimming and diving. Dave Pash with Bruce Woodbury wrapping things up at New Trier High School, where we have our award presentation for the relay champs. Marmion Academy in a beautiful time, 4 seconds better than second place New Trier, and Andrew Schnell was a big reason why Marmion won the 400-yard freestyle relay.
Yeah, he sure was. There's Marmion now accepting their awards. There's Andrew. He was had quite a meet today and last night. A real team leader, leads by example, and what a competitive kid.
So Marmion takes the final event today, the 400-yard freestyle relay, and they do it in state record time. And he knew it as soon as he touched the finish line. He looked up to see if he had broken the state record, and he, along with his teammates, did 3:05.84, the new record for the 400-yard freestyle relay. Let's look at the final team standings from today's state championship here at New Trier High School. St. Charles wins it, the second in 3 years for Joe Cable and company. Marmion finishes second with 116 points. Oak Park, which won the championship a year ago, finishes third. And the home school, New Trier, in fourth, followed by Naperville Central, which was the favorite heading into this weekend's event.
Yeah, actually, Naperville and New Trier tied for fourth place. Marmion gets their second place in 2 years, and I know they were shooting for this year to try to get that one step further to get their first state championship. Didn't quite do it today. St. Charles deserved the win. They swam awesome throughout the meet. That 1-2 in the butterfly really made a difference for them. Nice job, St. Charles. Congratulations.
And their fans now see their name up on the board and the point total of 124. And they're excited over the fact that they have won yet another state championship in boys swimming and diving.
They won the girls this year. They won the boys. They're obviously the dominant power in swimming in this year. Next year's another year, though.
Marmion finishing second behind St. Charles, and Andrew Schnell, who was terrific today, and some of his teammates also. But it wasn't enough for Marmion, which is still without a state championship in any sport. But sometimes you have to continue to climb the mountain and get knocked down before you get to the top. And they've come oh so close a couple of times, and maybe next year is the year for Marmion. Time now for our Pepsi swimmer of the day, and who do you think it is?
I don't know. Who do you think? There he is.
Should we keep him in suspense any longer? No, I don't think so.
He was a dominant swimmer today, winning 3 events and just missing in the 4th in the relay. Here he is anchoring the state record time relay today. You can see how happy he is. He must have heard he was a Pepsi swimmer of the day just then. That's why he's so excited.
He only won the 200 free, the 100 free. Helped win the 400 freestyle relay, and as you said, just touched out, I should say, in the 200 freestyle relay. A great day for Andrew Schnell, one of the top swimmers in the state, and he showed why again today here at New Trier High School. The Pepsi swimmer of the day, Andrew Schnell.
Jonathan Burgess.
There they are, waiting to get their trophy. Marmion Academy right now accepting their second place trophy, and then St. Charles will take their trophy as the 1999 state champs here at New Trier High School in Winnetka. Bruce, it was a pleasure to work with you, and appreciate your insight, and best of luck to you next season with the girls.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
And at this time, Fox Sports Chicago would like to thank H. David Fry and Mary Struckoff at the Illinois High School Association for their help with today's championship event. For Bruce Woodbury, I'm Dave Pash saying so long from New Trier High School, where St. Charles has been crowned the 1999 IHSA Boys State Swimming and Diving Champion. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport Television.